1, 2, boom. Hey guys, Dr. Will here from Miami Spine and Performance. Very excited. Today we have one of my patients, Liam, in the office. We're going to do actually a 4-part series with Liam so you guys can see a little bit of a deeper breakdown of what it looks like when a patient comes into the clinic. I've shown a lot of videos of adjusting or soft tissue or rehab, but with her I want you to see how I put everything together. So that way if you're a prospective patient and you're trying to figure out whether or not you're a good fit here, you can see kind of what the treatment plan looks like. Or if you're a provider or an educator out there and you're just watching these videos to learn, you can get a little bit of insight into my clinical thought process. So Liam travels a lot for work, so she's spending a lot of time in airplanes, sometimes internationally, and she's also an avid exerciser. So she does group fitness classes and yoga. Recently has gotten into Muay Thai, which is excellent, but of course it causes some issues, right? So currently she's dealing with some hip issues, particularly in her left hip, that has led to some issues in her knee as well, right? So we know that one issue can often lead to another. Additionally, she's got some upper cervical and TMJ issues. That's more due to traveling, working on the computer and things like that. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to break this down. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to check all the joints and get her adjusted, okay? So I'm going to have you lie face up, please. So as you guys know, if you've watched my other videos, we do full spine and extremity adjusting here. Just because her issue is in the lower back or the cervical spine, adjusting the mid-back can be very helpful to open up those areas because we want the whole spine to function together. So scoot towards me just a little bit. Okay, so usually I start with kind of the mid-back or the thoracolumbar junction. Let's see what we find today. So we're going to go right into the TL junction. I know she's very flexible, so often people that are very flexible tend to have this fixation here at the TL junction. I'm just going to do a gentle little roll, just like that. I'm going to have you lie on your right side for me, please. So we are going to adjust the sacrum on this side, so the tailbone. That's going to help her pelvis move a little better, take some pressure off of her hips and her lower back. Let's cross your arms this way. Right here. Perfect. Other side. You can hear just putting a little bit of pressure and putting her in that position. We got a little click there. Trying to face me this way. So on the other side, we're going to adjust the SI joint. Right? The SI joint is one of those joints that it actually doesn't move a lot. It doesn't do much. Unless you're delivering a baby, but it causes a lot of issues, right? It gets jammed up. People are always pointing to that SI joint. So we want to make sure that that's moving well, especially since she's dealing with some hip discomfort today. So again, she's a little bit overextended, right? She's very flexible, right? She has a background in performing arts, so she kind of is used to that hyperextended posture. So we're going to go ahead and flex that a little bit and bring her in and adjust. Go face that for me, please. Now we're going to see what's going on up top. Like I said, because she does travel a lot, those of you, if you travel for work, it can be challenging with uncomfortable plane seats, sitting in Ubers, not getting enough water on the plane. Can you scoot up for me just a little bit? So it can cause a lot of issues in the head, neck, jaw, and suboccipital headaches and things like that. So we've got one point about there and one point here. So we're just going to do a little adjustment. All we're going to do is we're just going to try to create a little bit more motion in the neck. The compression in these spinal joints here in the neck can cause headaches up through here, headaches behind here, and then ultimately can cause issues in the jaw through here. So we're going to open these up, and it should bring a lot of relief to this area. Okay. A little one here. Perfect. And we'll do another one a little bit lower through here. Wonderful. So you guys watching, you can hear that noise, right? So we're just releasing some gas from the joint, and now we get much, much, much better movement, better blood flow to the area, and that should help reduce the headache quite a bit. Last but not least, we're going to check out the feet. I know that sometimes with her work, she's got to be on her feet for a long period of time. So we're going to see if we find any issues here. She also does have a little bit of background with some issues in the feet as well, so we're going to take that into account also. Can you slide down a little bit for me, please? So patients are always asking me when they get their foot adjusted, it feels really good, but they're like, what was that, right? What are you doing? So you can see here that we have the arch of the foot, right? Everybody knows about the arch, right? If you have a flat arch, you tend to wear an orthotic. And so what can happen is if this arch gets too collapsed or too flat, you're no longer able to use it to kind of spring yourself when you walk. So every time you walk, you're kind of getting this pressure up your hip, up your knee, up your lower back. And so then you can get some upstream issues. So even for patients like her that have hip pain, for example, we're still gonna check the feet, right? Because this is the platform with which you're standing and you're walking. So I think we're gonna do this foot right here. This arch is a little bit collapsed, so we're just gonna bring a little bit more motion in there. 1, 2, boom, right through there. And this one, let's see, just a little one up top, just like that. So we get a little bit of motion at the ankle, a little bit of motion at the foot. Now these are moving a little bit better, so when she's walking and she's standing on her feet, it's not putting as much stress through her back and her hip. So that is what a typical adjustment is gonna look like for her. Again, it's gonna vary for everybody. Typically, I will start my treatment with the adjustment because I just wanna clear out all the joint fixations, clear out all the neurological noise. Now we're gonna get in and we're gonna show you my approach from a soft tissue standpoint. As you guys know, I'm a hands-on chiropractor, right? Whether or not, that's live by the sword, die by the sword. So these are my tools. Even if it cuts my career short, I love working with my hands. I'm a hands-on chiro. So we're gonna do some soft tissue work, specifically some active release technique. And I'm gonna show you guys some of the tools that I use to help reduce tension in the neck and the jaw without having to do the adjustment. I understand some of you might be apprehensive about the adjustment, so I'm gonna show you how I can treat things without having to do the adjustment. So stay tuned, I'll see you guys next time.